What if the key to your deepest fears, your unexplained talents, and your most haunting dreams lies not in this lifetime, but in another? Centuries ago, the initiates of Egypt's mystery schools whispered of the Ren, the true name of the soul, a thread connecting every incarnation. In Tibet, monks meditated on the Bardo Thodol, mapping the labyrinth between death and rebirth. And in the shadows of Delphi, the Pythia inhaled sacred vapors to glimpse the lives her seekers had lived before. These are not mere coincidences. They are fragments, shards of memory from lives your soul has already lived. Buried beneath the noise of the modern world, your past selves are stirring. They claw at the edges of your dreams. They hum in your déjà vu. They are the reason you feel homesick for places you've never been. But be warned. To unlock these memories is to embark on the most dangerous pilgrimage of all. A.E. Descent into the labyrinth of your own soul. For in that darkness you will not find who you were, but who you have always been. Today we cross the threshold. Today we begin. Long before science named the phenomenon genetic memory, the ancients spoke of a far more radical truth, that the soul remembers, not through DNA but through the silent ink of eternity. Consider the Hindu Vedas, where the jiva, the individual soul, wanders through samsara, a cosmic wheel of 8.4 million lifetimes, or the Gnostic Gospel of Thomas, which warns, if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not, it will destroy you. These are not metaphors. They are maps. But why did civilizations separated by oceans and millennia share this obsession with past lives? Because they understood a secret modernity has forgotten. Trauma transcends time. A pharaoh's fatal wound becomes a businessman's unexplained chest pains. A medieval heretic's betrayal becomes a paralyzing fear of crowds. The soul they believed carries scars like a tree carries rings. Yet the greatest clues lie in what was destroyed. The Library of Alexandria burned not just for its books, but for its Akashic Hall, a chamber where initiates reportedly walked through their past lives. The Cathars, slaughtered for their belief in reincarnation, took their techniques for soul retrospection to their graves. Even Plato dared only hint at it, writing in Phaedrus that all knowledge is remembrance. But here lies the paradox. The very cultures that revered past lives also feared them. The Egyptians taught that to remember too much risked drowning in the Nile of time. Tibetan lamas warned of soul fractures, identities splintering under the weight of unhealed lifetimes. Even the Buddha, who recalled his past incarnations under the Bodhi tree, cautioned against obsession. You are not your past. You are the space between the notes. Yet perhaps the most haunting evidence comes from those who never wrote it down. The Tlingit tribes of Alaska buried their dead in bentwood boxes shaped like wombs, chanting, "Return lighter than you came." The Druids encoded reincarnation, rituals into standing stones, aligning them with stars that pulse in rhythms matching human gestation cycles. Coincidence? Or a silent pact between Earth and eternity? Ask yourself, why does a 3rd century Mayan relief depict a queen teaching astronomy to children in a city that wouldn't be founded for 800 years? Why do identical symbols for the soul's journey serpents, labyrinths descending birds appear in cultures that never met? Because deep down beneath dogma and denial, humanity remembers. But this knowledge was never meant to be worshipped. It was meant to be used, to heal, to reclaim power, to shatter the illusion that you are trapped in a single story. So I ask you now, the architecture of eternal memory. Imagine your soul not as a single flame, but as a forest fire spread across time, burning in 1,000 different clearings. Each life is a spark, but the fire is eternal. So where are these memories stored? And why can't we see them? The ancients spoke of the Akashic records, a cosmic library, written not in paper, but in the fabric of space-time itself. Here every thought, action, and breath from every lifetime is etched into what the Vedas called the Book of Life. But accessing it requires more than curiosity. It demands surrender. Your body is not the only vessel that carries you. Hidden in your energy field, what mystics call the auric egg, lie 7 dormant chambers. The Hindus name them chakras, but their true purpose is far stranger. These are soul archives. The 4th chamber, the heart chakra, holds the master key, a frequency that vibrates in resonance with every incarnation you've ever lived. Most never breach these vaults because they're sealed by karmic encryption. Fear, shame, unresolved rage, these are not just emotions. They are algorithms, codes written by past selves to protect secrets too devastating to confront. But there's a loophole. Déjà vu is not a glitch. It's a backdoor. When you meet a stranger and feel primal trust or inexplicable dread, you're not imagining it, you're recognizing them. When a song or scent catapults you into a nostalgia for places you've never been, you're not daydreaming, you're remembering. These are soul triggers, breadcrumbs left by your past selves to guide you home. But why do children often remember more? Because their souls are still porous. In Mongolia, shamans say a child's third eye remains half in the spirit world until age 7. This is why toddlers sometimes speak of old houses or previous mothers in startling detail, and why these memories fade, like footprints in tide. The veil isn't drawn by time, it's drawn by us. Yet the greatest barrier isn't access, it's integration. The human psyche isn't designed to hold multiple lifetimes of joy and trauma at once. This is why past life recall often begins in dreams, hypnagogic states, or near-death experiences when the brain's reality filters are offline. To remember awake, you must become a soul alchemist. You must learn to distill eternity into a single breath. In part 2, we'll descend into the underworld of your oldest selves. You'll discover why certain memories surface as phobias, others as genius. And you'll learn the forbidden technique used by Sufi mystics to merge with past incarnations without losing yourself in the storm. But first, ask yourself, what echoes have you already felt? What mirrors have you been too afraid to face? The mirror maze of eternal selves. Every past life memory you recover is a double-edged sword. It can free you or chain you. For here lies the first paradox. To remember who you were, you must forget who you think you are. Consider the case of James, a 21st century engineer who recalled being a Venetian glassblower executed for heresy in 1582. The memory gifted him with uncanny craftsmanship, but also a phobia of fire so severe he couldn't light a stove. This is the soul's dilemma. Talents are inherited, traumas are inherited, but redemption must be earned. Advanced practitioners know this truth. You don't have past lives. You are your past lives all unfolding simultaneously. Modern physics whispers it too. Quantum entanglement suggests particles communicate across time. Why not souls? The child you were, the elder you'll become. The pirate, the nun, the inventor, they're all breathing now, in parallel layers of the Akasha. Here's what the occultists buried. You chose this life's challenges before you were born. The abusive parent, a soul contract to resolve a feud from the Crusades. The chronic illness, a surgical debt from experimenting with Atlantis's crystal energy. Even your random phobias, heights, water. Enclosed spaces are postcards from deaths you've already died. But the greatest taboo isn't recalling past lives, it's altering them. Tibetan Deluxe, returners from death, claim to have shifted ancestral karma by rewriting their past incarnations, choices in meditative states. The Vatican imprisoned Giordano Bruno not just for claiming infinite worlds, but for teaching that souls can retroactively heal. Their timelines, science edges closer. Dr. Ian Stevenson's studies at the University of Virginia documented children with birthmarks, matching fatal wounds from verified past lives. Neurosurgeons now find the hippocampus, the brain's memory center, lights up during past life regression, even in amnesia patients. Coincidence? Or proof that memory transcends biology? Yet beware the shadow work. In 1973, a California housewife undergoing hypnosis accessed a life as a Bronze Age priestess and became possessed by her past self's unresolved lust for power. This is why shamanic traditions always bind past life work in protection rituals. You're not just unearthing memories. You're inviting ghosts. So why risk it? Because in that hall of mirrors, one truth waits. Your present life is the keystone. Every healed trauma from the past weakens its grip on the future. Every reclaimed talent from a prior incarnation unlocks dormant genius. You are the alchemist, the sole architect of all your timelines. In our next chapter, you'll learn to walk this razor's edge. We'll share the forbidden Sufi breathwork that merges timelines, the Cherokee ancient ones, ritual to safely consult past selves, and why drinking water charged under Orion's belt can dissolve karmic blockades. But first ask which memories want to be found. Ask which ones you're still running from. And remember, in the mirror maze, you hold every key and every lock. To walk the labyrinth of past lives, you'll need more than courage. You'll need tools. These are not party tricks. They are ancient technologies, refined across millennia, to help you remember without shattering. Proceed with respect. At dawn, stand barefoot on earth. Breathe in for 7 counts, imagining your breath as a silk thread pulling through every incarnation. Exhale for 11 counts, the Sufi number for breaking time. With each exhale, whisper, La ilaha illa anta. Nothing exists but you. After 7 breaths, you'll feel a tug, a memory demanding attention. Follow it, but set a timer, 20 minutes maximum. The soul's fire can burn through modern minds. Your bones are soul archives. The new moon, sleep with a deer antler or obsidian stone under your pillow. Upon waking, immediately draw whatever haunts you, no words, just shapes. Then bury the drawing where tree roots cluster. The Cherokee believed oaks transpose buried memories into dream. Symbols within 3 nights. Keep an iron nail nearby as you sleep. Ancestral memories can be voracious. Light a black candle. Boil water until the mirror fogs. Write your burning question. As the steam clears, stare at your third eye, reflection the point between brows. Peripheral visions will surface. Do not blink. Ancient Taoist texts warn. Spirits of past selves emerge through the silvered gate. If shadows move independently, extinguish the candle and say, "Not in my name," 3 times. This seals the portal. Orion's belt vibrates at 4:32 hours, the same frequency as human DNA's junk. Sequences, which aren't junk at all. On cloudless nights, charge spring water under these stars for 33 minutes. Drink it before sleep while visualizing a door with 7 keys. Atlantean initiates use this to activate cellular memory. Warning, add honey if the water tastes metallic. That's residual trauma dissolving sweetness balances the bite. Walk a physical or imagined labyrinth clockwise. At each turn, ask, which life does this pain belong to? Then when you reach the center, drop a personal item, a ring, a strand of hair. Retreat backwards, chanting, "I leave what was never mine." Medieval mystics hid labyrinths under cathedrals for this exact rite. The item becomes a karmic anchor, freeing your current life from recycled suffering. But heed this, past life work is soul surgery. Never attempt it angry, intoxicated, or in despair. Always ground yourself after eat salted meat. Grip raw hematite, submerge hands in soil. You're not just remembering, you're renegotiating reality. Done wrong, you'll bleed time. Start small. That unexplained fear of elevators? Before entering one, murmur, "Show me why." The song that always makes you cry. Play it backwards once distorted melodies often trigger primal memories. Keep a soul journal in red ink. Color frequencies matter. And when memories surface as nightmares, reply aloud, "I see you, but I choose now." These are your first steps. Not into the past, but into the infinite. Remember, you are not digging up graves. You are planting forests in wasted soil. Now breathe, and decide which door to open first. What began as a whisper ends as a storm. You are not a single note in the symphony of time. You are the entire score written in scars, miracles, and the quiet defiance of souls who chose to return. Every life you've ever lived is a riddle, and this incarnation is the answer. The phobia you carry? It's a cipher for a battle you once lost. The talent that feels like magic? It's a receipt for a vow your soul made under different stars. You are not here to worship your past. You are here to reclaim it. This is not regression. It's revolution. For when you heal a wound from 12th century Kyoto, you disarm a tyrant in 2046. When you forgive the lover who poisoned you in Pompeii, you recognize the soulmate who left you at the altar last spring. Time is not a line. It's a language, and you've been fluent all along. So where do you stand now? At the crossroads of 1,000 lives, each begging to be heard. But here's the final secret. You don't have to remember everything. You only need to remember enough to shatter the illusion that you are small, that you are alone, that you are anything less than the sum of every star that ever died to forge your atoms. Go into your days. Now with this truth scorching your throat. You have been kings and slaves, saints and monsters, the blade and the wound. You've built and burned civilizations. You've loved in tongues now lost to dust. And you're here now because this life, This one is the thread that could unravel or redeem them all. So when you feel the ache of déjà vu, don't dismiss it. When you dream of locked rooms, find the key. And when you look in the mirror and see a stranger lie, tell them you know their name. Tell them you're ready to come home. The doors are open. The labyrinth awaits. What will you do with who you've always been?